California Governor Gavin Newsom is now calling his city's homeless encampments unacceptable, which is odd since he's the guy who, made them acceptable, turning sidewalks into red carpet events for drug addicts, thieves, and unemployed CNN anchors. On Monday, he urged cities to ban the camps from sidewalks, parks, and other public areas. So after years of denying the problem, he's now pretending to fix it, which is like putting on a condom as you're leaving a whorehouse.
After Greg Gutfeld shredded Gavin Newsom on national television, viewers were left stunned. Gutfeld's sharp critique targeted the governor's record, ego, and of course, his signature hair gel. Newsom's reaction? A full-on meltdown that lasted far longer than anyone expected. The calm composure of politics gave way to visible anxiety and frustration. This wasn't a joke, it was a televised demolition.
Take a closer look at this with a spot shadow, or no spot shadow. What exactly is he trying to say here, huh? Is it a mysterious form of sign language for morons? Is he conveying some secret code to terrorists? Is he signaling the Los Angeles Angels to steal third base?
You won't want to miss it. Gutfeld entered the studio wearing that trademark smirk, the one that promises verbal chaos for days. His target? Gavin Newsom, self-styled Prince of California progressivism, whose perfectly coiffed hair might as well double as a prop for sound bites and failed policies. But Gutfeld came prepared, not with flair, but with years of razor-sharp sarcasm.
Welcome to a new segment called Gavin's Hands. He keeps his hands in motion and his hair full of lotion. True, Gavin's views may be idiotic, but his hands moves, well, they're hypnotic. California Governor Newsom's new podcast is out. It's available wherever fine hair care products are sold.
This wasn't mere criticism. It was a slow-motion unraveling, and Newsom wasn't ready for it. Gutfeld joked that Newsom enters a room like a slow-motion perfume ad, always perfectly lit, even in a storm. On rare occasions, his smile shines brighter than California's entire electrical grid. And if politicians were products, Newsom would be upscale skincare. Expensive, flashy, and just a little irritating to everyone who buys it.
But the riots aren't a protest against authoritarianism, they're a protest against order. Once you conflate order with authoritarianism, you get chaos and destruction. So if restoring order is evil, then the Dems are now the party of disorder. Turns out the only system they had was wokeism, and it rotted any basic principles the party had to begin with. Which is why, like Gavin himself, they're left looking at 2028's hopes going up in...
Gutfeld wasn't just there to poke fun at hair, gel, or perfect smiles. His main target was California itself, the heart of Newsom's promises. The utopia Newsom touts, according to Gutfeld, feels more like a rundown gated community, broken elevators, overpriced soy lattes, and streets littered with abandoned electric scooters rather than a shining city on a hill. In Newsom's version of progress, a man in flip-flops can rob a wine bar while staff hand him organic veggies and ask if he needs a safe spot. Meanwhile, Newsom claims to be frustrated with crime, tent cities, and urban decay. Gutfeld didn't just mention these problems, he zeroed in like a heat-seeking missile.
So Newsom is fed up with tent cities, the crime, the urban decay? No, he's not mad about that stuff. He's mad you noticed. It's like a criminal telling a jury he's sorry he robbed 25 banks when he's just sorry he got caught on the 26th. Because this isn't some spontaneous crisis. It's a man-made disaster like Chernobyl or Fox and Friends.
He tore into Newsom's plans, calling them a mix of TED Talk buzzwords and wishful thinking. He warned that poor budgeting could even land a child in jail. Under Newsom's political appointees, San Francisco no longer feels like a city. Clean spaces are rare, and needle-free pavement is almost a treasure hunt. Gutfeld joked that sadly, the only reliable way for visitors to experience California is snapping photos in front of crime scenes. When California's a...
Why? What difference does that make? Why shouldn't a restaurant/bakery be subject to the same laws as everybody else? Is the bakers union that powerful? If you cross them, will you wind up with the Pillsbury Doughboy's head in your bed? No one will say. But according to a new Bloomberg News report, Newsom pushed for the bread exemption to help a longtime campaign donor, billionaire Greg Flynn, who happens to own a bunch of Panera Bread.
Gutfeld was just warming up. He grinned as he likened Gavin Newsom's approach to working outside the state to a smoker happily enjoying his own smoke. Once ranked 5th in the world, the state now competes with mid-tier European nations for the most complicated tax system, thanks to Newsom's so-called brilliance. Gutfeld joked that Gavin likely crafted his economic plan over brunch, avocado toast in one hand and a copy of Marx in the other. He tore through the rules like a kid unwrapping birthday presents, exposing absurdity at every turn. According to Gutfeld, Newsom runs everything except common sense. From lockdowns to COVID mismanagement, the decisions were executed with the precision of a skilled shooter, deadly efficient yet completely misguided. While dining at the French Laundry, Newsom reportedly mocked the lockdowns that closed schools and cost children years of education. Gutfeld quipped that truffle oil and Chardonnay pair perfectly with hypocrisy. Meanwhile, Newsom's inner circle celebrated public health like VIP guests at a royal wedding, while small business owners watched their life savings vanish.
It's like the wildfires. Gavin blames climate change when it was his corrupt bureaucracy. Since the Palisades fire, which destroyed 6,000 buildings, only 4 permits have been issued for rebuilding. Did climate change cause that? Hell no. So like the fires, Newsom let homelessness run wild. He allowed tens of billions of dollars to be swallowed up by a maze of consultants, nonprofits, and bureaucrats who created poop mats.
California's pandemic rules are as consistent as a melting popsicle. Sticky, confusing, and bound to cause chaos, Gutfeld said. One day you might be jogging on the beach, the next sitting in a park. He joked that Newsom must have had a color-coded wheel of fortune in his office to decide whether dogs needed masks or playgrounds could open. Anyone questioning the logic was quickly labeled anti-science, unable to grasp the brilliance of Gavin's constantly changing rules. Then came the recall. Newsom appeared shiny, arrogant, and strangely disconnected from everyday Californians rather than reflective. Gutfeld mocked how shoplifting has turned into a full-contact sport with criminals treated like celebrities while leadership avoided talking about actual crime. He quipped that Newsom's approach to preventing theft probably involves running ads encouraging thieves to pursue careers instead. Businesses are closing.
So our dumbest politicians are getting dumber. It's like a semi-truck full of dumb pills overturned, and Gavin Newsom leaped out of his limo and ate all of them up. And now he's ODing on dumb.
I watched this one guy, was it Jesse Waters or something on Fox News? What he's been saying about Paul Pelosi the last 5-6 months, mocking him consistently. Don't tell me that's not idiot.
Residents are leaving, yet Gavin Newsom insists California is a model for the world. Even as taxes rise, theft increases, and even dish soap seems to require government approval. Gutfeld didn't stop there. Next up, education. He moved quickly, claiming that learning is no longer the focus in California schools. Instead, students are fed flashy images, choose-your-own-adventure biology, social theory, and layers of jargon that leave parents confused. According to Gutfeld, school boards have become ideological battlegrounds where common sense is buried under a pile of diversity consultants. He then roasted housing and energy. Gavin promises, Gutfeld joked, like people promising to start dieting on Monday, there's affordable housing. Rent is absurd.
Last year, after the Texas Governor Abbott ordered that parents of transitioning children should face criminal investigation, Newsom then tweeted this: "Trans kids and their families should be celebrated, not targeted by the state. They are heroes." And so to fearful families in Texas right now, California's door is always open to you. Yeah, and so is the side door on some pedophile's mint.
New homes feel built from cardboard and fairy dust. Zoning laws are so complicated, it's as if they were written during a panic attack. And the cherry on top, trying to leave California without paying a dozen exit taxes might be the most expensive part of living there. Even amid scandals, defeats, and criticism, Gavin keeps smiling, like someone who has never faced a real challenge outside a carefully staged interview. Gutfeld called him a human screensaver, polished, constantly moving, but never doing anything meaningful. According to Gutfeld, this isn't leadership, it's influencer politics. Newsom isn't running the show, he's picking the vibes. Every press conference feels like a photo op wrapped in vague language, designed to make viewers think they're seeing grandeur, when really it's a poorly executed TED Talk. Gutfeld mocked Newsom's presidential campaign, comparing it to the Coast Guard, led by the chef of a sinking cruise ship.
Online, look at the sewage that is online.
Sure, Gavin, sure. He lived in a bus, but he definitely had cable. Yeah, talks like this maniac set his imaginary DVR on his imaginary TV on Fox News every night while wearing Brian Kilmeade pajamas, drinking his own urine out of a Fox Nation mug, in his beautiful, dilapidated bus of a home.
He returned to Gavin's obsession with appearance, noting that fancy suits, polished speeches, and Instagram-ready policies still leave him motivated more by looks than convictions. In the end, Gutfeld described him as a walking collage of progressive cliches, a soothing, polished, utterly useless screensaver for a state slowly falling apart. "Look at this nonsense online, Kidaba," he quipped. "Yes, Gavin. Yes. Cable TV, even while living on a bus." Gutfeld framed Gavin Newsom as a man so focused on his own image that he ignored what Californians were really facing outside his window. Using sharp wit and precise timing, Gutfeld tore into him without yelling or losing composure. The audience didn't just laugh. They nodded, winced, and cheered because the humor revealed a painful truth beneath the jokes. After years of missteps, Newsom might be the governor California deserves, but he's certainly not the one the state needs if it wants to avoid late-night ridicule. When it seemed Gutfeld had dismantled every part of Newsom's record,
The conservative Supreme Court will overturn the current law that bans his state from removing out-of-control homeless encampments. Imagine that. Well, what did you expect, Gavin? That the sanctuary seekers were going to show up in Winnebagos? Once again, another example of a high-profile lib using his big mouth to write a check his ass can't.
he turned to the governor's most absurd move, offering advice to red states on running their governments. Gutfeld called it ridiculous. Here was the captain of the sinking SS California throwing stones from his glass mansion. During a heat wave, he can't keep Walgreens open or the power running, yet he lectures Florida on education and Texas on energy. According to Gutfeld, it's like giving sprinting tips from a stretcher after losing the race. Gutfeld ridiculed Newsom's fixation on the Florida governor, portraying it as a one-sided, hopeless affair. He pictured Gavin scrolling Florida headlines at midnight, sipping oat milk, tweeting in frustration, and stewing in existential dread. According to Gutfeld, while Florida focused on infrastructure and the economy, Newsom was busy regulating plastic straws and renaming manholes for diversity. That's not governance, he quipped. For elitists who measure leadership by TikTok likes, it's all just theater. Next came Newsom's obvious preparation for a national platform, as if the White House had its own mirror chamber. Gutfeld joked that his campaign ads should carry warning labels.
Now, it's often said that life is like a crap sandwich. The more bread you have, the less crap you gotta eat. But in Gavin Newsom's California, they mean it literally. California recently passed a law mandating a higher minimum wage for fast food restaurants, raising it from 16 to 20 bucks an hour. But it offers an odd exemption for chains that bake bread and sell it as a standalone item.
While other politicians work on roads and crime, Gavin churns out slogans and picture ops with the frantic energy of a reality show confessional. Gutfeld didn't spare California's natural beauty either. He joked that forests, beaches, and mountains were quietly begging Idaho to annex them just to escape mismanagement. Tourists arrive for sunshine, stay for protests, and leave due to high taxes. If California were a film, Gutfeld said, it would be a lavish, high-budget sequel with a stunning trailer and an awful ending. Leaning into the camera with a sly grin, he shrugged, reminding viewers he wasn't done with Newsom. After all you need is a microphone and a front row seat when the punchlines write themselves.